Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like, subscribe and turn on notifications. Now let's get into the video.
My son's fiancée wants me to treat her like my daughter and walk her down the aisle, but after I said no, she started crying and now my son won't stop begging me to give in. I'm a 41-year-old man with 2 kids from my ex-wife, 42F, my son John, 22, and my daughter Sally, 20. I'm remarried to my current wife, who's 28. I'm very close to my kids. John is engaged to Abby, who seems nice but has been a bit pushy about building relationships with me and my wife, though she's also pretty awkward around my wife. Abby isn't close to her own family and has shared some stories about why. While some of her complaints don't seem like huge issues, I can't judge because I didn't live her experiences. We've tried to be welcoming to her, but Abby has forced herself into certain family traditions where she wouldn't typically be included, some of which are meant only for immediate family. For example, she's been calling Sally sis after only a few months of dating John. She also acts strangely toward my wife, like she's trying to create a sister and mother-in-law dynamic. The one that bothers me the most, though, is that she wants me to be a father figure to her, not because we've naturally clicked or bonded, but because she seems to have decided that's what she wants. One of my traditions with my kids is that we have a private chat in my office whenever they visit. It's just a chance to catch up and talk openly before they leave. This tradition has become even more important to them now because, while they get along well with my wife, they're not ready to have personal conversations around her yet. Abby asked if she could join one of these chats. I explained the tradition and said no. Later, John asked me to reconsider because Abby has never had a caring conversation with her own dad. We compromised. I didn't include her in the tradition, but I agreed to meet with her and John for coffee so she could talk. Then she started calling me dad. They weren't even engaged yet. John pulled me aside and begged me to let her keep calling me that. He said I'm the dad she's always wanted, that it means a lot to her, and that she even cried watching me interact with Sally because she wishes she had that. I didn't love the idea, but I felt bad, so I agreed. Now Abby wants me to walk her down the aisle and do the father-daughter dance at their wedding. I don't want to walk her down the aisle, and dancing is hard for me since I use a cane. At my own wedding, I only danced twice. John is begging me to at least do one of these things, preferably walk her down the aisle. When they visited on Sunday, John and I were talking privately about this when Abby walked in without knocking. She asked if he'd told me yet. I asked, told me what? John said she wanted me to say in my speech that I have a second daughter now and that I love her. I just looked at him. Then Abby asked if I'd walk Sally down the aisle and dance with her if she got married one day. I said, of course. She got upset and yelled, I'm your daughter too. I told her, it will never be the same. Sally is my actual daughter. I tried to explain that I'd talk in my speech about her being a happy addition to the family and how much I love how happy she makes John. I thought that was a good compromise, but Abby started crying. John apologized, and they left. Later, he called me from home, almost begging me to agree to what she wants. Am I the jerk because I won't lie and say I love her like she's my daughter? First update, 1.5 months later. I planned to update sooner, but life got busy in some good ways. People have been asking for updates, and since I have a surprise-free day, here we go. On Mother's Day my kids and their partners go to visit my ex-wife. So it turns out my ex-wife and Abby are a lot closer than I realized. She calls her mom, which is part of where this comes from. Also apparently my ex has been egging it on. On Mother's Day they were talking about the wedding and I guess whenever Abby referred to me it was as dad. My son apparently told her let it go, which led to yelling. Abby about deserving to be my daughter, ex telling her that she's right, son telling her that I am trying and she should be realistic about things, Sally telling her I only had one daughter, which was apparently a response to Abby saying to her that as my daughters they should be united. According to my son Abby was crying, according to Sally she was crying and yelling and kicked something before going to her room, and Sally told me she went off on her mom, but will not elaborate so I don't know what was actually said. But knowing Sally, who boy. Around 2 a.m. I got a text from Sally's partner's phone saying, Abby really is great, she hasn't been perfect but you should give her a chance and you will learn to love her. I saw it when I woke up. I tried to text her back but was blocked, so I called Sally but they were driving. They stopped by my place later that day because I am on the way and my daughter prefers my liquor and cooking and they told me about the night before. At the end I asked to speak to her partner alone. I asked if I had done something to upset her. She was confused and I told her I was blocked. She said I wasn't but checked her phone and I was, and I said it was after her message and she asked what message. I showed her, but it was not on her phone anymore. At that point we brought in Sally and caught her up. Neither of them were happy. A couple of days later John and Abby dropped by unannounced. Not something we really do in this family but okay fine. I had mad salmon, does not take long to cook. I cooked 2 more, wife serves while I make drinks. The entire night was Abby trying to bring up the wedding, John trying to change the subject, and Abby not allowing that. We talk logistics because I'm helping them get some good deals through some professional contacts I have when finally she just says, so I was talking to mom. She said that you can walk me down the aisle and she'll do the dance, or you can dance and she'll walk. It's your call but you need to choose soon. I reiterated that I could not dance. She tried arguing that I had danced a little at my wedding but I made it clear that is different, and did not feel comfortable walking her. She got upset and said mom loves me, why can't you? I felt bad but couldn't lie. I pointed out that she had John who loved her, my ex-wife, friends, she had people who love her. She said but other than ex-wife, those aren't my parents. I said neither am I. She was very emotional so my wife and I gave them a few minutes. My son and I were alone later. He looked exhausted. He said the problem was that after Mother's Day Abby had called Sally and kept saying they are both my daughters, that I did not get to be close with one but not both, and that it was them against me, but at that one Sally cried havoc and let slip the dogs of war. Things were said. Grievances were aired. John had to hang up before it got worse, but I guess Abby was shaken. But there was a new problem. Abby had decided in her head that I did not mean what I had been saying and was just doing it for Sally. He told me he would handle it. He did not. So now I get text messages from Abby every couple of days acting like we have a secret relationship Sally doesn't know about. She even called herself my secret daughter. She invited my wife to lunch saying 2 out of 3 of his girls going out. She has even started using the pressure of showing up at events like a recent barbecue to play a certain image. She hugs me more and holds it, wants to do pictures with just me or my wife and I, but always a few with just me to post with captions I do not like. My wife is getting especially annoyed because of how she is with her. I guess Abby surprised her with Father's Day plans for me that had to be shut down. As it is, she still inserted herself into the day, but she has a soft spot for her and when Abby gets emotional she caves. My wife is a sweetheart. I asked him if he is upset with me and he said no, he just wished it was different. He said we're good, but he's worried he and Sally aren't, which is when I took the advice of some people and suggested premarital counseling, and he said he would talk about it. Now Abby is insisting Sally go to her fitting. That shop should pay per view that potential Royal Rumble because Sally is not holding her feelings back anymore. I told him Sally loves him and I'll talk to her, but for now it is stressful all around. Abby driving my wife crazy with her ideas for what my girls should be doing, driving me crazy with dad-daughter content, drove Sally to the edge, and oh yeah, last night sent me an email with 3 styles of father-daughter dances and song options, so I'm not feeling any more respected or heard than before. The 6 of us have barely been in the same room in order to let things calm down since Father's Day, which was great until it wasn't. Sorry this is so long, with all the craziness this is still the abridged version. We are supposed to meet Friday, Sally's partner and I have a bet going about how bad it will go. So onward and upward. I hope you fathers had a less dramatic day than I did, and by any chance does anyone know exactly how bad of a crime I need to commit to enter witness protection? Just curious. Second update, 3.5 months later, I have gotten requests for updates on my situation, and as I enjoy a refreshing mojito and my wife her Nojito, life feels good and the perfect time to amuse the world with my pain and familial drama. Plus a cousin of mine who apparently reads these and knows my situation gave me the convincing argument of dude, you can't keep people hanging and how can I argue with that airtight argument? I apologize for how long this is, a lot has happened. My wife's pregnancy is going well, keeping her as stress-free and pampered as possible has been my focus. It is such a different experience this time, both because of how much more involved I can be and how much better a relationship I have with my wife than I had with my ex. My daughter Sally has been great, even her partner has been great, helping with the nursery or driving her around when I can't. My wife doesn't know because it is a surprise, but my son has been building a crib for the baby, modeled after the one I built for him and his sister, to show my wife his support. My son is a good man, and he is still in there, he just has a soft spot for Abby. Which I guess gets us to the part of the movie where Godzilla shows up and starts busting up buildings. So I called a family meeting with my kids to talk about the situation. I told John his sister was only doing wedding activities she wanted to and that the guilting requests needed to stop, that this was hurting his relationship with his sister. Sally was happy I said it so she did not have to yet again. I told him if he did not stop her from messaging me I would block her with a bluntly honest explanation why. We got a lot out, John seemed to understand but then a few days later they insisted on coming to talk. Sally and I decided we would get everything out. So all of us ate at our place. Abby started in immediately about baby shower stuff and I told that is the kind of thing we wanted to talk about. I told her that I understood she has been trying to fill a hole that she has, that she thought she was getting a father, a second mother, she calls my ex-wife mom, and a sister. I told her it was still possible but that she needed to start listening to us. I told her that for the sake of family we would give her a fresh start, if she agreed that moving forward she would respect our boundaries. My daughter did not love this idea but loves her brother and was willing to try. Abby tried to say that since we were starting over we could define what the relationship would be and just be family, but we told her we were not ready for that it needs to happen organically. She got mad that I am closer with my daughter's partner, which is true but we just get along, and that she deserved it for trying so hard. My daughter said something about trying things we actually want. She ran to our bathroom, he ran after her. After a while I checked on him, I could hear her repeating this is not what I wanted. My wife, daughter, and her partner went out to the patio to give them privacy and salvage the night. After a bit I got a text saying they had just left. I checked in with him the next day and he said they talked more at home and she understood. For a couple of weeks things were good. The text stopped except the occasional wedding question, since it was getting closer. She stopped pushing herself on my wife and Sally, and we thought was involving us in less in wedding planning out of respect, since as it was they only got the venue at the rate they did because of my professional connections and they know I was willing to help but not interested in helping plan, even if I am good at event planning. But then I got a call from the venue telling me the card I used had been declined. Now this is a specific card I use for big purchases because of the miles so I knew it had a high limit. That was how I learned that they had changed dates by 2 months despite being informed I would still be out much of the money because it was too close to the date. I was furious. I mean I have been lucky in life financially but I am not blow off deposits like nothing wealthy. So I called my son, said he needed to get his ass to the house, just him. They both came. When they arrived I opened the door, she actually started with, "Dad." I think I just replied you have got to be freaking kidding me and walked toward the table. Abby had the nerve to ask where dinner was. My response was not polite as I made it clear that was not why they were here. I hoped my son would not lie to me, so I asked what was going on with the venue. She started going into wedding details, but my son interrupted to tell me they postponed because my ex-wife was unavailable because of a surgery and he had not told me because he was putting money together to pay the lost money himself.
Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Part 2 is on the way.